Hey Mama, welcome to the podcast. This is the Positivity in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast, and I am Jocelyn, a fellow mom of 5. Pregnancy was such a hard season for me, and likely if you're listening to this podcast, it is a hard season for you too. And not only do you struggle physically, but you struggle mentally because you just can't do the things you used to, and it is hard on your mental outlook. If that is you, you are in the right spot. We talk a lot about the mental side of pregnancy, a side that I believe gets neglected quite frequently. But I am here to encourage you in working on the mental side of your pregnancy. Right now, I am going through a pregnancy week by week and sharing some of the physical things that you may be having to deal with, the physical changes that pregnancy brings to your body, but also mental exercises on how to help you deal with those changes. It is super powerful when you realize what is going on and you have mental tools to help you deal with them. I know because I've done it. I have used these tools in my own life and in my last 2 pregnancies to help me get through. I've had 5 total pregnancies, but I didn't learn and know these tools until later into my 3rd pregnancy when I started working on them and developing them and practicing them even more in my 4th pregnancy and for sure in my 5th pregnancy. So these tools help, and as you implement them into your own life, you will find more positivity. Let's jump into this week. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, host of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. I help pregnant women and mothers to find positivity in their season of life through changing their thoughts to work for them and not against them. I help mothers find the small, doable steps in thought and action without making drastic changes to their everyday mom life, and I can help you. Thanks for joining. Depending on when you go into labor, you're about a third of the way there. Hooray! Celebrate these milestones that you experience on the way, that you are that much closer to meeting that little human that is growing within your body. It is such an exciting thing, and when you just really sit down to think about it, pregnancy is a miracle. The things that your body does to grow and develop another human is just mind-blowing and amazing. The more research I do about it and the more I learn about it, the more I am convinced of what a miracle it is and what a blessing from God it is to be able to carry this little one inside. And I hope that you choose to look at this season as a miracle. I know that if you are in the middle of morning sickness, you are probably thinking it does not feel like a miracle. And some of you, it may not be morning sickness, it may be all day sickness or evening sickness. For some reason, mine always got worse in the evening. And for some of you, you also have to deal with the hyperemesis gravidium. I might have said that second word wrong, but it basically means you are very sick. And that is such a hard spot to be in because you can't really do anything. You just are existing and surviving, and it can be a very, very difficult season. Before we jump to some mindset things to help you with morning sickness or some of the other things that may be going on around 13 weeks, I want to share some physical changes that are happening with baby. So baby is about the size of a peach, and they are moving a lot. They're still drinking the amniotic fluid, and at this time, most of their organs, or all of their organs, are formed. They are just maturing and using that time to keep growing. Their head is about a third of the size of their body right now. They have a fairly big head. They are moving their little body quite a bit, although I bet you have not probably felt it at this time. I, even with 5 babies, never felt my babies move until around 20 weeks, actually. Some moms might notice a flutter here and there that isn't gas. That could be you feeling your baby. So if that's you, that's another little miracle that you can feel your little one move inside your body. So I want to talk about two things in this episode. The first one is one to help you deal with the morning sickness, and the second one is to help you deal with some of the weight you might be gaining and just how you might be feeling a little fat around this time. But first, we're going to jump into morning sickness. One of the things that I like to encourage is, it's simple, but it's called the art of distraction. And that means to distract your mind from thinking about how hard this is. Do something else, put your mind somewhere else to distract your mind from the things that are weighing you down, like the nausea and the fatigue and some of the other negative symptoms that can come with pregnancy. So what is the art of distraction? It's basically just taking your mind somewhere else. And I'll give you some ideas, some different thoughts to think to help you use distraction to help your mind get off of the negative parts of pregnancy. One of the simplest ways to distract yourself is to listen to something. And listen to something positive, something encouraging. During pregnancy, I actually do not encourage you to scroll. I actually encourage you to put your phone down and get rid of scrolling. I actually have an episode I did about this during my fifth pregnancy, when I kind of was turning to scrolling and it was not helping my mentality. And I highly doubt that it is helping yours. So find positive things to listen to, like podcasts, audiobooks, something that's going to encourage and uplift and not make you feel even more anxiety, more worried, more negative, or more comparing. Another thing that you can distract yourself with is good music. Turn on music from your childhood. Maybe there's soundtracks that are kind of nostalgic that you could listen to that bring back great memories of watching movies with your family or dancing at concerts or just songs you like to listen to. I used to play music outside sometimes as a kid, and it was so fun to listen to that music and jump. And then as I re-listened to it when I was pregnant, it brought back positive memories, which is something that we want to try and foster and develop during this time of pregnancy, is positive memories. So use the art of distraction to distract your mind from thinking about different things versus, poor me, this is hard and this sucks. And I know that it is hard, and I actually feel a lot of empathy for you because I have been there, and I know that it is miserable and sometimes it really sucks. But if we dwell in how bad the situation is or how bad we think it is, it doesn't make us want to try it again. In fact, we build a lot of resentment, and it makes us not want to bring more children into this world. But I think God wants you to have children, and it is a beautiful gift to have children. But as we shift our minds, it can help us to be open in the future and just have an overall better pregnancy and experience. So this week, try the art of distraction and find something to distract yourself with. I'd love it if you share with me how it worked for you. What was your favorite thing to distract yourself with? And if you found something besides some of the tips in this episode, I would love to hear that and share it with our fellow moms, because that's what we're here for. We're here to encourage each other in this journey of life, to do things better, to learn from each other so that we can excel and get better instead of staying stuck. So I am trying to help encourage you and want to encourage others. All of my information is in the show notes. My email address, Facebook group, website, all of that is in the show notes. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is gaining weight. So if this is your first time pregnant, it usually takes a little bit longer for your belly to show. But if this is a second or more pregnancy, sometimes your belly can start growing sooner. And it's around this time that you might be noticing that you just kind of feel fat. And for some women, for me, this was harder than I thought it would be. I thought I would just be okay with growing a baby because that's what my body was doing. But there's kind of a transition period where you don't really look pregnant. You're not really maybe telling people that you're pregnant or haven't voiced it out everywhere. that you're pregnant, but you're gaining weight. And sometimes it can feel heavy and burdensome to think about people just think you're gaining weight and kind of worrying about the judgment of others, and also maybe a little bit of the judgment of yourself that you just feel fat. Your clothes don't fit right. You're kind of bulging over your pants, or you can't even button them yet, or can't button them right now. So I want to give you some tips to combat that as well, because that was harder for me than I thought it would be, and it'll at least give you some things to equip your mind with when you are dealing with some of these thoughts and kind of worries of what other people might think and what you might think of yourself. So the first thing is just to realize that, you know what, you are growing a baby. And maybe they don't know you're growing a baby, but you know you're growing a baby, and you know that you're gaining that weight for such a good cause. And as you shift away from thinking, wow, they probably just think I'm fat, and wow, I feel really fat, to wow, I am growing a baby and my body is doing exactly what it needs to grow this baby. There's a shift there. There's a shift in how you carry yourself and how you think, and you actually worry less about what the other people might think or less about their judgments. You will find that a lot of the positivity in pregnancy is just shifting your mindset away from things that drag you down and finding things that help you and then that encourage you. So as you find thoughts to think instead of the judgments of others, you will find that you are lighter and that you are more happy with where you're at. Another thing that I encourage you, if you are at all able to, is to get a few clothes that fit you better. I suffered through my first few pregnancies and tried to make my clothes last as long as they could, but I also felt very frumpy. So my last couple pregnancies, I learned that it was worth it to give myself at least one set of clothes that just fit me okay. You may even want to just go into like pregnancy style pants or shirts that fit, but that also have room for your growing belly. But that can also help a little bit with some confidence, is to find clothes that fit you a little better. I am a huge fan of thrifting. You can find sometimes really awesome and amazing things at thrift stores for half, a third, or a quarter of the price of what you would find at a store. So if finances is a struggle, go thrifting or ask someone to go thrifting for you and look for some things that can help you, that can fit you a little better, to help you feel a little bit better about your growing belly and helping you feel beautiful versus feeling fat. You are not fat, you are pregnant, and it is an amazing and it is a special season. I have a course that I created called the Morning Sickness Mini Course for Mental Health. And in this course, they are just a lot of videos. They're 2 to 8 minutes long that talk about everything that I talk about on this podcast. In fact, the two that I mentioned today, The Art of Distraction and Feeling Fat, are two titles or two videos that are in that course. They're shorter, they're more streamlined, so that if you just need a dab of positivity, you can listen to it, you can implement it, and you can title search for things that you are struggling with, and listen to the one that will help you with what you are struggling with. These are all pregnancy-specific videos designed to help you shift away from negativity and to find more positivity to make your pregnancy feel more light, more joyful, and more of a miracle and a blessing. I know these work because I use them. As I mentioned before, I used my own course during my 5th pregnancy to help me through, especially during the morning sickness phase when I was feeling pretty awful. This is amazing time, Mama. It's so special to grow that little baby, and I hope you'll choose to find more positivity as you go throughout this process. Join again next week for week 14, and if you have fellow pregnant moms, will you tell them about this podcast and how these simple things have actually helped you? If you haven't tried implementing them yet, try implementing them and you will find that they do make a difference. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. But most of all, thank you for implementing these things into your own life for more positivity during your pregnancy. Until next time. Thank you for being a part of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast, for listening, for sharing, and most of all, for applying these tools into your own life to improve your own happiness so that you can find your own better thoughts for a better you in a positive pregnancy, in losing that stubborn baby weight, and becoming the mom you desire to be through taking small steps in thought and action to reach your goals. If you are a mother who has an inner desire to enjoy motherhood and pregnancy better, but you are having difficulty figuring it out, I can help you. I can help you find the small, doable steps without drastic changes to your everyday mom life. Reach out, let's connect, and let's see you move forward. My name is Jocelyn, and I thank you for listening. Until next time.